right around 70 degrees. And keep an eye to the sky Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening for the threat of downpours and thunderstorms with temperatures once again in the upper 80s.
This report is sponsored by Lumber Liquidators. Now through Tuesday at Lumber Liquidators, get flash sale savings up to 60% off beautiful flooring for every room in your home. Visit one of their more than 200 locations nationwide or shop online at lumberliquidators.com today.
At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than money. It's a way to support the people, causes, and community you love. Because the most important thing isn't what you're planning for, it's who. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number one on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
And away we go. Football Friday here. Daily Ticket, Sean Brace, Mark Henry Jr. will be joining the program here shortly. Kyle Fisher at 4 o'clock. A lot to discuss, of course, what took place last night between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. We got a lot to get into from that game. Were they a little lucky? Yeah, but I'll take it. Game one, damn right. Any way you can get it done, the Eagles did exactly that, and they are 1-0 on the season. Of course, though, want to shine the light on a major win by the Phillies yesterday, and specifically an outing by Ranger Suarez, who has been our number two right from the jump. Of course, Mark Henry Jr. joining us right now. Mark, got to shine the light on Ranger a little bit here. Can Ranger get a little love after that yesterday?
You know, Sean Brace, that Ranger Suarez is my favorite athlete in this city.
How about that?
One of my favorite Philadelphia athletes of all time. It saddens me. We might be watching the last month here of Ranger as a Philadelphia Philly. That might be one of the last, who knows, 6, 7, 8 outings we ever see of him in the pinstripes, in a Phillies uniform. And I mean, if you've watched this guy from, the last, from being a reliever to the whole journey, and he's missed time and he's had ups, he's had downs. When he's on, there's nothing like it. It is just, he is cool, calm, collected, the swagger coming off the mound. He legitimately the best fielding pitcher I've ever seen. So all of that, and then you hand it over to the bullpen, and the bullpen gets the job done. I thought Strom was nails last night. I want to look it up while we're talking, but I think the ERA since like June 29th or something, I want to say, for Strom is in the ones. He has been unbelievable for about 2+ months now. And obviously you hand it over to Duran. He does what he does. Great win. I poo-pooed how important the series was when we talked about it the other day, but every game that we can gain on the Dodgers, every game that we can solidify ourselves in those top 2 seeds, whatever you want to say, that was a huge win. It was a game where the offense didn't show up for 7 innings, and the pitching won them the game. Huge win.
Little concerning about that, but we'll break that one down a little bit later in the hour. It does, but a win is a win, and that is definitely something that we are applying over to last night's game with the Eagles. Who you repping? Who you got? Atlanta Hawks? Is that Dominique Wilkins?
Dominique. It's a retro. It's a throwback. I got to tell you, it's a hot one out there. Sean Brace had sleeves on earlier. Went on a little walk with the dog. I got back to the apartment. Sleeves came off. I said, where's my closest tank top? And it happened to be the Dominique Wilkins jersey.
Yeah, it's hot out there. You're right about that. I got into the car. I'm like, damn, got to let this baby air out a little bit. Guess we're not exactly in that fall feel just yet. All right, let's do it. You know what we do here on the Daily Ticket Monday through Friday.
The Daily Ticket opening drive. No warm-ups, no stretching, just straight into the action.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 98. Number 98's defense actions has disqualified him from the game.
Whoa.
15-yard penalty.
Whoa.
First down.
So Jalen Carter, the focus and the star for the Cowboys, for the Eagles on the front line, out for the game before snap.
Yeah, not exactly how we drew it up. Jalen Carter, the game record that he is, Defensive Player of the Year, 22-1. That might hurt his stock just a little bit. Yeah, gets thrown out before even a snap. Unbelievable. But, of course, the game rolls on. Cowboys took a 7-0 early lead. But come on down. Superman gets the job done early for the Birds.
Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. He's going to run. He's going to cut back. He's going to waltz in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He rolled. He could not find the receiver. So he said, okay, I'll take the dance. And he did.
Jalen Hurts just proving all of those doubters wrong yet again. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys are witnessing greatness. Michael Jordan in the building, the shoulder shrug. It doesn't get any better than that. Oh, actually it does because he did it again later.
It hurts calling for the football. He's back. He's looking. He steps up. Still looking. Still looking. He's starting to run. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it yourself.
You just got to do it yourself. That's right. Eagles Radio Network on the call. Of course, Mike Quick there. I think he nailed that one. Eagles tie it up 14-14. 21-20 lead at half. Jake Elliott, come on down for the only score in the second half.
The kick is away. It's got the distance, and it is good. He nailed it. The Eagles 24, the Cowboys 20.
Oh, and that was all they needed. And, of course, the Eagles come away with a victory, a division victory, a victory for everybody to witness that did not fall asleep during the lightning delay, 1 hour and 3 minutes. Yeah, later after that delay.
Jalen Carter made the stupidest mistake by getting himself ejected before the first snap from scrimmage by spitting at Dak Prescott. But somehow or other, the Eagles overcame a 7-0 deficit, a 14-7 Dallas lead, pulled away. And they have beat the Dallas Cowboys 24-20.
Oh, thank you, Merrill. And I think he nailed that. Yes, it was very, very dumb. Not much you can do about it. I know people want to say, well, Dak spit first. The only thing I care about is how Nick Sirianni will handle it. And here was what Nick Sirianni, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, had to say following the game.
Yeah, I'm going to keep all our conversations and all my disciplinary things in-house. But we got to do it. We have to fix it as coaches.
Is it something where you might take disciplinary action against Jalen?
Again, I will keep everything in-house, and we will you won't ever get that from me. We will everything will always be handled in-house, just like private conversations that I have with players. None of that will ever be out to you guys. I'm sorry.
A lot to chew on there, Mark Henry Jr. Yeah, you nailed it. I love it. That's exactly a perfect answer, Coach. He is, come on. So, of course, the Super Bowl championship will do that. But I was singing a much different tune about Nick Sirianni last year, but he proved me wrong, proved all the doubters wrong. But none of that matters. I want to focus on the game, and we will hit on the Jalen Carter stuff, of course, because I think to anybody that watches the Eagles or watches the NFL, and you tuned in last night, it had such a drastic change immediately following that, from the life that you have now given the Cowboys to the point that they said, hey, look, we were game planning, double teaming him, as all teams do, heading into this game, and all of a sudden he's no longer in the game. So that made their life easier, and they said as much. I think it deflated the Eagles. It deflated me as a fan. It deflated a lot of people out there in the timeline. I'm pretty sure, Mark, you're going to be in agreement with as well. But all in all, the big picture here is this. It's week one. It is week 1, and that was a week 1 victory. This isn't the same team that won the Super Bowl. They're not going to hit the ground running like they did against the Commanders and like they did look down in New Orleans. This is a week 1 victory in the division, and that's all that needs to be said right now. Now, with that, are we going to have some things that we can improve on? Of course, and we're going to talk about that now. But my big takeaway, Mark, and I'll throw it to you, my one big takeaway is this is a division win over the Dallas Cowboys, and that's it. Your one big takeaway is what?
People are doing the same thing again. They're falling for it again. Like, we have this revisionist history once you win a Super Bowl, right? That we won 18 blowouts last year, and that we looked perfect in every game. True. And that we weren't complaining about Jalen in the passing game all year long, and that there weren't nonsense storylines with the defense the first half of the year. And it's how it works. It's the NFL. It's the National Football League. It's hard to win. I still don't think Dallas is very good. And we'll get into that a little bit deeper. It's hard to win against anybody, against bad teams, against good teams. And it's even harder when you don't have your best player on a side of the ball. Jalen Carter did not play in that game, and the Dallas Cowboys scored 20 points. And every national media, every show is talking about how great Dak played when he threw for under 200 yards, scored 20 points against a defense that did not have its best player.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's where it starts for me when you start to talk about the success that the Cowboys had. And they did. They ran the football effectively. And it makes you question today, like, all right, defensively, you look at some of the stats, no sacks. Now, of course, Jordan Davis should have had one. He wrapped up Dak, and Dak was able to get away. And that's one thing that will come to your mind. But even if you were able to get one sack, I think they got one QB hit on Dak. But it's hard to go into that category, talk about that without mentioning Jalen Carter being in the game. He is going to command a double team, and that is going to free up somebody and make somebody's life easier, maybe specifically Nolan Smith or anybody else that's blitzing. Maybe Zach Bond gets there at one other time that he came. But all in all, Jalen Carter is such a huge deal that without him out there, I think we got to grade this game with the curve, right? We got to look at it with the asterisk to a point, right?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Sweat went out and got whatever, $80-90 million off the strength of playing next to Jalen Carter. How much money did Milton Williams get off $90 million, $100 million from New England off the strength of playing next to Jalen Carter? So you were already coming into this year relying more on Jalen Carter to be even more important and even more dominant on that defensive line. And then he gets thrown out in the first, before he takes a snap. My take on that, people will not like. All
right, you want to get into the Spitgate?
I'm not. I do think Dak, probably said something. Yeah, obviously you shouldn't do that, but
he said he spit.
Yeah, he spit. But I think he probably said something even following the spit when Jalen stepped up. I'm sure there was something said that Jalen, I took offense to, but whatever. My take on it, and people aren't going to like it. Jalen Carter is a special player. And Jalen Carter is to be the physical force that he is. I think there's got to be some nasty in there. So sometimes when you have a dog, they're going to bark. That's my take.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody would disagree. Well, everyone's going to disagree with something, right?
Oh, but the timeline last night for Eagles fans.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Fans, when that was
have the bread.
Suspend him next week. He's a bad person.
Have the bread man's back. Come on.
The best player on our defense that dominated our way to the Super Bowl 6, 7 months ago. Can we have a little memory beyond one thing? And the thing I always said about now, just that was a huge stage for the national in the national stage. You're playing in the first game of the year on national TV, NBC. Now, when Jalen Carter comes up for the next 3 to 5 years, people aren't going to talk about him being the most impactful defensive tackle in the NFL. People are going to talk about the time he spit on a guy, similar to Ndamukong Suh stepping on people and things like that. That's going to be what it is now. Whatever. I don't know how important he is and how impactful he is. If people want to bring that up instead, I don't care.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the NFL is a bunch of savages. It takes a mental, a certain type of makeup to get out there and compete. And especially when you're in that position, I'm not saying it's right at all. It's wrong. No, you should never spit on someone at all. And the way he did it very easily, it's just was like, what is going on? He got caught up in the moment. It's not the first player to ever do that. They rolled back. The first thing that went through my mind is when Hugh Douglas got thrown out in that game against the Falcons.
Yeah.
They pulled that out in SportsCenter. I was like, that exactly was the game that popped up right in my mind immediately when it happened. And it was unfortunate then, and it was unfortunate yesterday, but a little bit different story between, of course, or no, it's Jeremiah Trotter. Did I say Hugh Douglas? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Trotter got thrown out. A little bit different ball game when you're talking about Jalen Carter versus Jeremiah Trotter, with all due respect and what he was to that team back in the day. But I think he got caught up, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but I would assume that this won't ever happen again. And to your point about this is something that the national media is going to take. Yeah, Albert Breer had his take where, this is why he fell. Well, thank you. Thank you that he fell, number one, in the draft. And number two, they won a Super Bowl because of him. The legit LA Rams game is a game that I will always remember as the Jalen Carter game, because what he was able to do on that defense. If he did not step up in those moments last year, the Eagles aren't getting to an NFC championship, let alone winning a Super Bowl. So Jalen Carter, he's earned it. Look, he made a terrible mistake. They won the football game. I would expect that Jalen Carter will never make that mistake ever again. Because that's the one thing. He could have grabbed Dak by the face mask, pulled him down, and he wouldn't have got thrown out.
I know. There's a little part of me that's like, a little soft. Like, it's good. It's like, it's actually not like a soft thing. It's more like a respect thing. But like,
it was right in front of the official.
Yeah. But
the
it's also, I mean, how many stories do we hear about what happens at the bottom of a pile and things like that? Like, how much worse is like, grabbing someone in the private parts and twisting than spitting on someone's arm. Like I'm not, it doesn't change my opinion on Jalen Carter in any way, in any facet. He'll be back out there dominating next week as long as the NFL allows him to.
If they didn't win, I think I'm singing a different tune. Not that it changes my take on him. He's a dominant dude, defensive player of the year. I still believe he's going to win it. I have a bet on him. I hope that's the case. But we know the type of game record that he is. But all right, look, I don't think we're going to disagree too much on what took place. It's stupid. It was dumb. It was deflating. It sucked. And it was bad. It cannot happen again. So moving off of the spitting, let's talk about the game, and let's talk about Jalen Hurts, because that's where it needs to start. You saw yesterday a quarterback that has just taken the next step. Again, a new season, new offensive coordinator, play caller. Not so much weapons around him, but, just allowing the game to come to him. 19 for 23. Dan Orlovsky did a breakdown this morning talking about, hey, even the four incomplete passes, like when you look at it, he was saying that Jalen Hurts played the perfect game. And I am not here to deny that. Putting the stats to the side. Escaping and running it into the end zone not once but two times on drop back passes. NFL Network said that was the first time in his career that has happened. I was like, what? He's never dropped back for a pass, broken play somewhat, and then escaped out of the pocket and scored a touchdown.
I don't believe that personally.
I don't believe that either.
I don't. I think people are taking RPOs a little incorrectly with that. Yeah. I think that's incorrect. Yeah.
Regardless, it was two plays, nothing there around the goal line, and my man slips out and scores a touchdown and allows the game to come to him. And the way that they won yesterday with the yin and yang, and I have a cut of that with Jalen and Saquon, the 1-2, this is how they win football games. This is how they're going to win another division and compete for another Super Bowl, because of their bread and butter. Offensive line, running the football with Saquon, and Jalen Hurts doing what he needs to do, play his game. I could not be more happy to see a game one performance like that from Jalen Hurts yesterday. Your thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, I thought Jalen was perfect. I can't believe some of the discourse that's out there about the game, and 19 of 23, what he did on the ground. He had 7 first downs that he picked up on the ground with his legs.
I saw somebody say Black Trent Dilfer. That's what I'm logging off. When you start saying he's the Black Trent Dilfer, I'm out. I'm out. I can't waste time on that.
He scored 2 touchdowns with his legs, ran for 62 yards, had 7 first downs gained with his legs. And then when the team needed a first down with 3 yards to gain at the end of the game, what happened? Jalen stuck his foot in the grass, and nobody could do anything about it. Because that's what happens when he needs a big play. He goes and makes it happen every single time, it feels like. So I can't believe anybody's going to be negative about this game. And the people who are saying the offense, concerns about the offense went touchdown, field goal. The field goal only happened. I thought that drive was going really well, and then you take a sack. It takes a sack, it sets you back, and then Jake has to make a long field goal there. After that, 3 and out happens. First 3 and out of the game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, coming off of a weather delay. Whereas if you have that fumble happen, the stadium's rocking, I feel like that drive goes a little bit differently. If they would have just picked it up after they hadn't been stopped all game long. Instead, they had a weather delay. Both offenses seemed affected by the weather delay, but Dallas did a good job game planning for these next couple drives. You get a 3 and out punt. And then you get an 11-play drive from the Eagles that I thought was going pretty well. And you get to 4th and 4 and you don't go for it. 4th and 4 at the 50. I thought that was a go spot. It ended up working out. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 24-20. I thought that was an opportunity to go get a first down and ice the game. Either you're going to go waste 2 or 3 minutes and get a field goal, or you can take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock and get a touchdown and really end the game. I thought that was I thought they weren't. The 3 and out, first 3 and out of the game in the middle of the third quarter, that happens. I thought that, if you want to criticize anything, I think that was a lack of aggression by Nick and the play calling, whatever you want to say. They go out there, they try to draw them off sides, and they take the delay of game and they punt the ball. Then they get the ball again with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left. Saquon right up the middle for no gain. Jalen ran a QB draw, and then Jalen tried to pass to Jahan, and then it's 4th and 3, and they weren't aggressive enough in there. Jalen threw it short of the sticks on 3rd and 7 to Jahan to get 4 yards. Thought that was a mistake. Thought they weren't aggressive enough in play calling there. Outside of those 2 moments, I think the offense was perfect. And then you get the ball back with 1:54 left, and like I mentioned before, Jalen gets the first down to ice the game. But the only 2 criticisms I really have of the entire game, either side of the ball, is just Nick being not aggressive enough on 4th and 4 at the 50. And then Nick, really more Kevin Patullo on this case, not being aggressive enough in his play calling when you get the ball back there with 4 minutes left. Because really 2 first downs would have ended the game there. And I thought they played really conservative, and they played the field position game. They didn't want to make any mistakes and give them the ball back with a short field. Thought that was a mistake.
At Fox PHL Gambler, streams are rolling. We got Cousin Nicky checking in. Gambler gang, stand up. You damn right. He also said, Cuz fell asleep. Did you guys stay up to the finish? I can't lie. I did not.
Really? You didn't make it? Did you record it and then go back?
Of course. Went right back. Just was able to pick it right up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I have been working out at 4:30 in the morning, and I hit a wall yesterday coming home, and I was dying on my way home. I got home probably about 8 o'clock. It was just ridiculous. Started pouring. So I leave Xfinity Live, or Stateside Live, excuse me.
I didn't know about that until last night somehow.
What?
Somehow that just did. I didn't know that the name changed on that until last night. My wife told me, and I was like,
Stateside Live. I was just, a couple buddies were out, and I just go, boys, I'm not lying to you. I got to go home, and I didn't fall asleep. I was like, all right, I'm good. That delay happened, and I was just like this on the couch and passed out. I won't lie. And I immediately went back and watched it. What difference does it make? But still, I was dying.
When we got the ball back, the thing I just talked about with the 3 and out, we got the ball back up 24-20 with 4 minutes, 43 seconds left. That drive, when we got the ball back, I took my foot off the pedal, and I was kind of like, well, I was falling asleep a little bit. And then once 3rd down happened and we didn't get it, I was like, I gotta lock in. They're getting the ball back. I had to, snap back in for a second. But
it was a long day, and we did the show down there, so we had the juices going. I had 2 pops, 2 Michelob Ultras, pounders. I was fine, but it just was like it all hit me. And it was just like, dude, like if I had a ticket to that game, I would have needed like a Red Bull or something in stadium.
Speaking of, but
There you
can
go.
you imagine how much beer sales they got extra on
I don't
top
think
of?
No.
Was
Somebody
it shut down by then? I see. I don't go to Eagles games or drink enough to know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was fourth quarter. That's
I saw somebody tweet that the alcohol sales were done. Let us know in the comments section if I'm wrong on that. You never know. Timeline lies from time to time. So, but I did see, it is fourth quarter. You're right about that. But once the delay happened, boom, I think they shut it down. We'll see. Look, they ended up winning the game, and it was just a weird game from start until finish. Jalen Carter gets thrown out. All of a sudden, like that was so deflating for everybody in the building. Like, what just happened? Asking all these questions. You don't know what takes place. And then the weather delay. Oh, by the way, if you had the over, I feel so bad for you. I mean, like, that is a tough loss to get 41 points in the first half and for it to stay under the total of 48, 47 and a half, wherever it was. That is just so damn wrong. But those are the breaks. That's why we call it wagering.
Happy I didn't end up betting the team total because that was a play I did like, but
I didn't. Yeah, my one parlay was Barkley over 100 and the team total, so I didn't. That was 0 for 2 there. Shout out to Nick McClay. He had a winning day. He was able to money line the Eagles with a couple of other plays, including Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. The best wager in sports, Mark Henry Jr.
It's actually. I'm a little upset he scored twice because now I think the market might be like totally screwed for the rest of the year.
We talked about that where it was like, wait a minute, Saquon was minus 190, Jalen was minus 145. I'm like, dude,
but
first
Jalen opened minus 105. Like when they first put it out like 2 weeks ago or last week, he opened minus 105 and everybody bet it up. So I was almost hoping he would score once on like a tush push or maybe not even at all, even though I had bets on it. And then we drive it back to plus money going forward. But I went 3-2 last night. We had the Jalen touchdown. And then we also had Goddard over 3.5 catches. Hit that like within the first
quarter
of the game. It was early that Goddard got us on the board with that. Lost the 2 losses I had were AJ over and Devontae over. I think it was just a weird game. Goddard got a lot of targets early. Then they ran a lot. They didn't spy Jalen. They very clearly did not spy Jalen at all. And instead of Jalen going through his reads for long amounts of time, he chose wide open paths to run to, which I support every time if you're going to go get 7 first downs. So, AJ, if you are out there and your owner in fantasy is panicking about A.J. Brown and to a lesser extent Devontae Smith, gobble them up. Go get yourself some A.J. Go trade for Devontae. Give up a guy you got in the 6th or 7th for Devontae. Give up a guy you got maybe in the 3rd round for A.J., Mike Evans, a Devontae Adams, a JSN, one of those types who were ranked a good bit below A.J. Go offer your fantasy owner in your league, AJ.
I love it. All the breakdowns are happening on the timeline. So we're going to learn a lot more about this game from the X's and O's side of things. Of course, some of the next-gen stats. Devin Jackson was on here the other day, tweeted out last night that Barkley faced a stacked box, 8+ defenders, 12 out of 18 rushing attempts. You know, the big question mark that I would have, again, I didn't expect this team to come out day one and light it up. This is going to take a little bit of time here to figure out what's what and who's who. And of course, there's a change as far as the play caller is concerned. He's got to find his vibe. But, you know, when you do see things like, okay, well, they stacked the box and those are on the attempts, but, you know, it wasn't just in those rushing downs. They were bringing some people from time to time. And I'm talking about the Cowboys on defense. It feels like when you start to look at it from afar, again, just a 30,000 foot view, with those analytics, those metrics, that players should have been open, right? Like wide receivers should have been open. AJ should have been open a little bit more. Devontae should have been open. What is your take on that, Mark? What do you say to that? Like, okay, if they did have success stopping the run, and I would say the Cowboys did to a point, not around the goal line against Jalen, like you said, no spying him. That was a disaster for them with the 2 touchdowns. But they did have success slowing down, stopping Saquon Barkley. That there should have been players that were open downfield. Is this something that they just have to work through, finding out what routes are where, getting Jalen in his vision? Again, it's only week 1, but from your thoughts after one game, one sample size here, what do you say to that?
I think Jalen's gotten a little too obsessed with not turning the ball over. It's worked for him. They've won a lot of games while he's done that. I think they're 17-1 in their last 18 games now, where he has like 4 turnovers and 36 touchdowns in that stretch or something. But I think he's taking less shots down the field, and the shot he took down the field happened to be to Jahan Dotson, and he completed it. It was a perfect throw from Jalen.
Great throw.
Great ball, and Jahan caught it. I had Quez flashbacks. Anytime someone on our team that's not AJ or Devontae gets targeted deep, but Jahan came through and caught the ball. And I just thought he chose Goddard a lot, especially early on. He was really fixated on Goddard. I thought he swung it out to Shipley on a play that maybe could have went 20, 30 yards to someone else, but Shipley took it, 15 yards maybe.
Good.
For a nice game. I really like Shipley. Went out in the second quarter. I hope he's all right. It was ribs, so that shouldn't be anything too long term, but hope he's okay. Really like him more than Dylan. I knew Dylan had the one nice run. He immediately followed up with like 2 rushes for 1 yard, the AJ Dillon experience. But I think it doesn't concern me that these guys weren't open. AJ made the big play to get them within 3rd and short at the end of the game, so he was still locked in at the end, which you'd like to see, even though he wasn't targeted all game. So it doesn't concern me. I think they just didn't get that many drives either. Just the way that the game played out, with both of them having so many long drives in the first half that went for touchdowns, just less drives than you'll see in almost any game this season. So I think it's partially that. Didn't run a lot of plays.
All right, Jalen Hurts, as far as the offense is concerned, again, putting a bow on that side of the ball. We're going to talk plenty about the defense here in just a second. But Jalen, after the game, on beating Dallas.
It means everything to come out and start strong. It's a new team. It's a new journey. And we got tested tonight. They played a hell of a game. We know how they are when Dak is back, and they got their crew all together. And so a lot of respect for that team on the other side. We just got to clean up some things and play better football, but always good to say that and find a way to win.
Damn right. That's what it's all about. In front of Jordan, too, in the house. Unbelievable. Could you imagine going to that game and you see Mike Jordan? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's one guy I've always wanted to meet, Mark, and there it was, an opportunity. If I was at that game, you never know. You never know. It's tough, though, because there's just one, section that literally you cannot get to.
Yeah.
It's underneath, and it's really, really hard to get to.
Sure.
But you never know. I might have really put the hat on and tried to make my way down there some way, somehow.
I will say, I feel like
hanging out by the door. I would have hung out by the door just to meet Jordan. Come on, dude.
I drove by his boat one time in Ocean City, Maryland. He wasn't on it, but his boat was parked.
Well, he was docked out there at the the Golden Nugget.
It might have been. I'm not as for my father-in-law was the one. He has a boat, so he takes us around, and
Nice.
he always points out the famous ones. But Michael Jordan, it has the UNC elephant print all over the side of it.
And he's got a new one being built as we speak, which is even bigger and better. It's just incredible. But yes,
I'm sure. I will say the defense. I want to get to some NFL Week 1 plays because by the way, I have every game on the board I have a bet on, including a bunch of player props, but besides 3 games. There's 3 games I don't have a bet on. So 13 NFL bets. My defensive takes, like we kind of covered, I think it's almost impossible to have any real takes about this game.
No, come on. No, that cornerback too is the disaster.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Jakorian looked a lot better. Once Adore went out and they brought Jakorian in.
What do we do week 2 here? What do we do?
Jakorian Bennett. And I think the solution is no more Adore Jackson. I think it's that simple. I don't think it's a long conversation to have. That guy stinks. Throw in Jakorian Bennett. If he doesn't work out, try Keely Ringo. If he doesn't work out, we got to make a trade. So I think that's as simple as it gets.
No Coop over there? You don't have any interest in that?
I don't want to. It reminds me of something Shane Haff always talks about with O-line. Shane Haff's really good at O-line play and tape when it comes to that. And he always says, if you ever have a guy who's drafted as a tackle, guard, and you don't know which way he's going to play in the NFL, you need to play him as a tackle first. Because if he's a guard and he's elite at it, you're going to be like, I don't want to move him. He's so good here. I don't want to make myself weaker here and take away an elite spot just to hope he's good somewhere else. And if he's not good at offensive guard, you're like, this guy's not going to work at offensive tackle. It's kind of the same thing with slot corner. When you play slot corner and you're elite at it, it's hard for me to want to take it away because it's so hard to find those guys. And more than ever, we are seeing so many of the top receivers in the league line up at least, half of the time in the slot, like Drake London. You're not a traditional slot receiver, lines up in the slot a ton. So it's like, I don't want to take a guy who's so elite, maybe the best in the league potentially, away from being a slot corner to put him at outside corner. And then 2 games from now, we're playing Puka Nacua. That is what we're doing 2 games from now. And Puka runs a ton out of the slot.
True.
So, it's one of those things where some weeks, that cornerback 2 would hurt you not having DeJean there. But some weeks, if you move DeJean there, the slot corner would hurt you. If not, and I don't know who they would have to slot into that slot corner spot. So that's kind of how I feel about that. I think the CB2 probably has to be Jakorian or Ringo, or it has to be someone from outside the building.
Yeah, I don't think it's Ringo either.
I'm not a huge fan either.
No.
I think Jakorian might be the guy. He started a bunch of games for the Raiders. He didn't fit Pete Carroll's scheme, so that's why he's here. Apparently Fangio really likes him. Fangio wasn't lying about Adoree Jackson, by the way, a month or 2 ago, and we see that now. So
the fact that they made that trade, I think, told us a lot at that point in time.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
It's like, wait a minute. And then we saw it last night. And again, that the naysayers, the people, detractors, they're going to point at that. And I'm with you, Mark. It starts and ends with Jalen Carter. Come on, man. We can't be real with our assessment on the defensive side of the ball without realizing and coming to that conversational piece at the beginning of it that Jalen Carter was not in there. And he is such a difference maker, whether it is as far as getting after the quarterback, the quarterback having time, X, Y, Z. Now, with that being said,
I'm happy Makuba stared.
Yeah, he looked good too as well. Both Campbell looked good. He made the play. He punched the ball out.
Yeah.
And Quinyon played well. There were plays to be made, though, from the Dallas perspectives, especially when we're talking about CeeDee Lamb and the 2 drops that he had, the tough one at the end, extending. But that's a play that he's going to make the majority of the time, and he will tell you that he should have caught it. But the other drop was just bad. That was really bad. So,
really
look, I think you and I are in agreement. Game 1, they won. It wasn't a great game. It was a very odd game. It wasn't a perfect game, a lot to build off of, but the pieces are in place, and this team, this roster looks good enough to deserve the hype that we were giving them in the offseason, to give them the praise at this point in time. They opened up with the victory in division against the Cowboys, 1-0, and it's on to the next.
I will also just say, and I hate to be the ref guy, and we've went a long time without me talking about the refs here. The Cowboys get 4 for 42 penalties, while the Eagles get 9 for 110, including the game starting with the Cowboys starting at midfield because Jalen Carter spits on a guy, including Reed Blankenship gets flagged. What is Reed Blankenship supposed to do in that play? It's not. What are we watching at this point if that's football? If he can't make a play on the ball, he didn't extend his arms. He didn't lower his shoulder. He didn't lower his head. If that's illegal, I don't know what the future of defense in football is, because I know it was brutal. Football's a brutal game. It's unlucky. I think the ref threw a flag because it didn't look pretty. That was crazy to me that got flagged. And then even crazier, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it this weekend, Nolan Smith getting a flag for flexing. Not going crazy and carrying on. What every NFL defender has done after every tackle for loss over the last 20 years. That getting flagged, those 3 plays right there, that's 45 yards. And they scored on all of those drives. So it's the defense stuff, I think they were shell-shocked from losing Jalen Carter early. I think Adoree Jackson stinks. And I think they had some really, really questionable penalties on those scoring drives. And all in all, my kind of bow and wrap it up that I would say is if the national media wants to walk away from this game and talk about the loser more than the winner and say, oh, maybe Dallas is pesky, maybe they're better than we think, I think that's insane, given the fact that Jalen Carter, the best player on the Eagles, was out. They only scored 20 points. I just, it's hard for me to understand the kind of the narratives coming out of this game, and not to mention the penalties.
Yeah, 9 for 110, and as you said, a bunch of those penalties were ridiculous. And come on, what is Reed supposed to do? Couldn't agree more with you on that one. And then I heard this a ton this morning. We were in on all these meetings, and they were talking about sportsmanship. Like, dude, what are we doing here? We Pee Wee football? This is the NFL. These are gladiators out there. These guys are out there for blood, and you're going to be penalizing for flexing. We're going to see a lot of laundry on the field if that's the case. And I know that everybody has all been out of shape over the gun celebration, and I'm with you. They're like, no, I don't like it. I don't want to get it out. But, like, deflexing, really? We're going to penalize guys for flexing now? Stupid. Let them play.
I'll do the Jalen shrug. Or I guess the Michael Jordan shrug, but I'll call it the Jalen shrug.
All right. We got a Friday night game in Brazil. We got a big card coming up in the NFL Week 1. We also have some Friday Night Lights college football edition. Mark's sticking around full hour. Kyle Fisher's going to join me at 4 o'clock. More college football conversation with Mark, Joe Tanzi, and Ryan Beef Coyle coming up at 5 o'clock with the Sickos. 6 o'clock, Swinging and Dang It, live from the Scranton Country Club. How about that? Don't touch that dial. Keep it locked right here. More Daily Ticket after this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith's got it, and the freshman just launches in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Busy on the Walt Whitman, 19 New Jersey, down to 42 south at Lower Landing Road, south of 95, Crawling Academy to Cotman. Earlier, a truck fire cleanup has the 2 right lanes blocked. Schuylkill eastbound, Stop and Go Boulevard to south. Architella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. The home you worked so hard for is ready to work hard for you with a home equity loan from Rocket Mortgage. To learn how you can turn your home's equity into cash, visit rocketmortgage.com today. Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next birthday dinner, corporate meeting, or special celebration? Randall's Restaurant in Cherry Hill, New Jersey now offers private dining for parties of 10 or more. Enjoy elevated cuisine, attentive service, and a private yet welcoming space designed to make every moment special. Whether it's business-oriented or a night of fun, Randall's brings people together around the table. Book your private dinner or event today at randallslegacy.com. That's randallslegacy.com.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's Veozah.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
This is Ben Green with Lenovo Legion, and I'm inviting you to come check out the Legion Gaming Cube at the iHeart House of Music on September 19th and 20th. It's part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas. It's your chance to test your gaming skills on the best PCs anywhere. Go head-to-head with players at the event, all live streamed from the first ever Lenovo Legion Cube. The Cube is part gaming zone, part creative playground, and it's all powered by Lenovo Legion. So come find us at the House of Music, and if you're not already a member of the Legion Gaming community, you can sign up now for free at gaming.lenovo.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law.
Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. Oh, yes. We got ourselves Friday Night Lights, pros and college. How about that? Interesting games, but none bigger than, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs and Chargers division battle in Brazil. Man, that don't sit right with me. So let's start. Come on, dude. Like, it's already
foreign football.
You know, I get it. I mean, who doesn't get it, right? Like money. But come on, let's be fair about it. But at the same time, like, there's probably more Charger fans there than there would be at a home game for the Chargers versus the Chiefs as well, right? Not the best hometown crowd, that's for sure. But let's go ahead and fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Mark Henry Jr., host of the Tough Cover Radio Show every Saturday from 11 to 1. He'll be over college football tomorrow, and he's got a big card of NFL plays as well. We'll dive into that coming up here in just a second. And I got to get some Phillies conversation with you. They're back in action, taking on the Marlins as well. But tonight, come on, give me a play. Where are you leaning? What do you like? It's hard to go against the Chiefs here at -3. I like the Chiefs, 47.5. I would assume that this is probably going to be 80% in most sports books, 75, 80%, somewhere around that mark of people on the Chiefs at -3. Making it too easy, Mark. Where do you side as far as the side tonight with the Chiefs -3 favorites?
I want no parts of a side here or a total. I especially in Brazil, I think it makes it such a weird game. All that. I'm a higher on the Chargers than most. I have the Chargers at 11 wins, Chiefs at 12 wins.
So if the Chargers win tonight, you won't be surprised?
No.
Okay.
They're only a 3-point dog. I wouldn't be surprised really at all. I had them winning the division and winning the AFC until the Rashawn Slater injury. So I dropped them back a bit after that. They're now a wild card team for me, but nothing on a side or total. I'm a little bit more of a player prop guy in the NFL now, Sean Brace. I'm finding props. I'm scouring the market. I think it's the fantasy guy in me, especially early in the year. I'm kind of betting on my takes, really, is what's going on here. Omarion Hampton over 47.5 rushing yards. If I'm telling people to draft him in the third round, and if I've done it multiple times in my biggest leagues in the third, fourth round, I think he's got to go over 48 in this game. So my only play tonight, Omarion Hampton over 47.5 rushing yards. I get it. The coaches might like Najee Harris. He's a veteran, yada, yada, yada. He hasn't been practicing all offseason. He almost blew his eyeball out with a firework. So I don't think he's like the normal, sturdy, smart veteran that people think of. So I think Omarion gets plenty of work.
Apparently somebody else shot it off and it hit him. So this isn't a JPP situation. That, again, these things happen.
Stay away from fireworks.
Especially for a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Like everybody should, no doubt, but we see dumb things happen every 4th of July. Yeah, that is a huge deal. And over to Hampton, I think it's well worth the play here. Right now, as you pointed out, the numbers have moved since you placed that wager. DraftKings 50 plus at minus 122, rushing and receiving. Is he a pass catcher out of the backfield?
So he was a pretty good pass catcher in college, not elite. The problem with that, I'd say, is that Greg Roman offenses don't often feature the running back as a pass catcher. Now, I will say, if you go look at a lot of those offenses and the running backs, we're talking about Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, not receivers last year. Mark Ingram in the past. A lot of guys who maybe aren't big receiving threats. So maybe O'Marion will kind of make him change his ways a bit, but I don't want to bet on that yet. I'm more willing to bet on the rush yards.
First touchdown score plus 950. Anytime touchdown score plus 150. 2 tutties for Mr. Hampton. Anything's possible plus 1,000. Do want to point out there, DraftKings for new users. I know that I don't know who doesn't have a DraftKings account, but if you don't, use Brace as the promo code. Let them know you're listening to us in The Gambler. I greatly appreciate that. They're rolling out some unbelievable deals to start the season. New users only, Brace promo code. All right, so from the Chargers, that's where I'm looking as well. Hampton in the backfield. But over to the Chiefs. Am I wrong to believe that, like, okay, Kelsey, no doubt, Kelsey's Kelsey, and he looked like he slimmed down. He looked like he's taking this year serious. So I would imagine that, we could see a little bit of rejuvenated Kelsey, especially in this spot here in game 1. But I'm looking at Xavier Worthy here. I'm looking at him more than anything. I just think Andy knows how special he is. It's another year in the system. He is the constant. He's not dealing with any of the dumb stuff that's happening right now, suspensions, all that. He is going to be in this lineup. I think it's a big night for Mr. Worthy. Anything on the Chiefs attack?
My inclination is whatever Hollywood Brown is. I kind of feel like he might have a nice day. I've kind of been high on him as maybe an early season sleeper, maybe a DFS sleeper out there for the early season without Rashee Rice. But I've stayed away from a lot of the guys in fantasy because there's 3 mouths to feed, and I don't really know what the target share is going to be quite yet. So I'm staying away from all Chiefs angles of this game. I don't have a read. I don't have a read on this one.
Sure. It's game 1. It's game 1. Don't force it. If it's not there, don't force it. Mahomes 260 at plus 107. Justin Herbert, shout out Sean Bernard. Oh man, I hope Justin Herbert goes nuts. Plus 240 plus for plus 104. So we'll see what happens. That one, 2 touchdowns both ways. Minus 148 for Mahomes, minus 103 for Justin Herbert. Always enjoy looking at the rushing attempts for Mr. Mahomes here, and he is at 15 plus at minus 153. Never mind. We're moving on. And Kareem Hunt still in the NFL. How about that? All right, let's keep it moving here and talk a little bit about Sunday. I know you're going to be doing a lot of it tomorrow, so if you would not mind, what's the 1 or 2 plays that you're really itching to give your take on right now for Sunday afternoon / Sunday evening?
I'll keep it with player props because I don't have too many plays. I like the Raiders a lot. It's probably my best bet. Raiders plus 3 at New England. I've been high on the big turnaround from the head coach quarterback standpoint. I think Genty's going to have a big day right away in week 1. But let's do the player props. Chase Brown, a guy that I've been hyping up all off season. I love Chase Brown. I got his agent following me and tweeting at me. Chase Brown truther out there. Yeah. I have his over. I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to bet, or maybe I'll just bet both of them. Over 18.5 receiving yards. 6 of his last 8 games last year, he went over this. He averaged 38 receiving yards per game in that stretch. So 18.5 feels low to me. But the one that might have my eye even more, Chase Brown over 88.5 total yards rushing and receiving. Every single one of his last 8 games, he went over that total, had 100 plus in every single one of his last 8 games, averaging 117 total yards per game in that stretch. I think the Chiefs, the Bengals also went 5-3 in that stretch. So I think they feel like they figured out a little bit even more of a recipe on how to win games, and that's Chase Brown. So Chase Brown overs, whether that's receiving yards, whether that's total combined yards. I like both of them.
All right. And then another one?
For the late afternoon, I'll say Cortland Sutton. Nick McClay's boy, Cortland Sutton, over 4.5 catches. 10 of 17 games last year, he went 5+ catches, and 9 of the last 10 games, he went 5+ catches. Down the stretch, him and Bo really connected and had a better connection, and he went to him way more. His target share went way up in that offense. So I expect way more Bo Nix to Courtland Sutton this offseason. I had Courtland Sutton as my number 17 receiver in fantasy. Somehow ended up with him in 0 of my 8 leagues. So I don't have any shares of Courtland Sutton, so I'll have to be betting on him this year to enjoy what I think is going to be a really good year for him.
I think he's the standalone guy in that receiving core. I'm with you on the Courtland Sutton deal. I have him in 2 out of my 3 leagues. Now you have 8. You have 8 teams, so you have every player in the league.
I don't have him. I don't know how I don't. I have him. The crazy. I think it's just how it broke down. I have Devontae, wide receiver 16, ended up with him 1 time. I have, which maybe a good thing after last night, but I have Courtland Sutton, wide receiver 17, ended up with him in 0 leagues. Don't know how it's possible.
My Lord. All right. I like both of those plays. Just to let everybody know, 11-1 countdown to payout. Myself and Roy Burton will be live. It's going to feature the Gambler Gang. You might hear from Mark Henry Jr. on that show. You never know. We're just going to have an open door policy for anybody on the Gambler Gang that wants to join us. We'll be in studio. Of course, the great technology that we have. Of course, Mark will be able to join us wherever, but you can hear him all day tomorrow from 11 to 1 right here with the Tough Cover Radio Show. And it's going to be a busy day for us. We open up at 9 a.m. at Park Sportsbook Casino. Mike Kern and the great Dick Girardi, of course, Kyle Donemaker, and my guy David Shapansky is going to be there as well. Watch out for him. He's a young up-and-comer in the sports media world. He's in his last year at Villanova, and he is so good, so thorough. I might call him the baby Bob Costas just for gambler's sake. Anyways, he's a great addition. He's going to be helping us out a lot behind the scenes, and love to get him involved as much as possible. Into Mark. Then at 3:30, you're going to hear myself and Beef with the College Football Rundown Show. And then we got Villanova and Colgate opening up the season. Villanova football, another year with head coach Mark Ferrante looking to do big things before they leave their conference CAA and head to the Patriot League next year. So we're going to be all over it for you. And oh, by the way, next weekend, a lot of fun. Heading out to Penn State. Happy Valley will no longer be the same after we roll in. We'll be out there Friday. Yeah, 3 to 6 live into Saturday morning following Mark's show from Happy Valley outside the Bryce Jordan Center with the folks from Playfly Sports. Really excited about what we got cooking over here on the Gambler, especially on the weekends. All right, so Mark hit me off with some NFL plays. We talked a little about tonight's game. College football, Friday Night Lights. I know you texted me, didn't have anything. Interesting games. Is there one game that sticks out to you more than anything as far as just a viewer's perspective or a storyline?
Louisville. You know how I feel about Louisville, having win in the ACC. I don't even feel the need to bet on them and lay big numbers with them. I have enough invested takes-wise with Louisville. Love Miller Moss. Looked great in week 1 against the Cupcake, but played really well. I believe in Brom. I believe in Louisville. Want to see them put it on JMU. But JMU, a lot of people think could be a sneaky G5 playoff team. So maybe it's closer than the experts think. I'm really looking forward to it.
Number came down. It's now 14.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. 14.5, 54.5 in that one. Maryland, they look good in game 1 as well. They're 16.5 point favorites over Northern Illinois. Western Illinois taking on Northwestern. 31.5 there for Indub. And then we close up shop with a disappointing performance by Boise State in week 1. Here they are taking on Eastern Washington tonight as 31.5 point favorites. Not a lot happening for you on tonight's card. No. Quickly, though, on college football tomorrow, Iowa State, I'm leaning towards the Cyclones.
I lean Iowa, and it's just me. Last week, everybody expected Iowa State to have the hangover coming back from Ireland. They didn't have it. They played great. I think maybe they were let's not let down, let's not have a letdown game, that it might hurt them here now in a big spot. They just traveled back from Ireland 2 weeks ago, so I'm leaning with the Hawkeyes, I should say, even though they looked horrible last week against the Cupcake.
44 passing yards.
Yeah, I'm not an Iowa guy, but I almost feel like the line. I'm not a line is telling you something guy either, but this line not being higher surprised me. So
interesting.
There's a little bit of a fade of the public, I think, a little bit with Iowa.
Illinois, Duke, also a noon kick. Really intriguing kick here.
Watch and learn game for me. It's a watch and learn.
Both offenses look good. I believe in Illinois a little bit more, but they're on the road.
Tough one.
2.5 point spread.
Total toss up.
All right. And then to the nightcap, of course, we got to get your thoughts on Michigan and Oklahoma. What's the number on that one right now?
4.5 right now is what I'm seeing. I'm on the Sooners. Boomer Sooner. I think there's a chance this is an 8 to 10 point spread in a couple weeks after we saw a little bit more of them. Oklahoma's got a really difficult schedule. I still think they're probably only a 6 or a 7 win team, but I think Michigan's a 7-ish win team. They lost so much NFL talent last year. Everybody knows how much talent they lost after winning the title. People aren't realizing how much talent they lost last year. Will Johnson was a top pick. Mason Graham, a top 5 pick. Colston Loveland, a top 10 pick. They lost a ton of guys on the trenches as well. New Mexico was doing a lot against that defense. I think John Mateer tears up that Michigan defense.
As he did in week 1, he looked really good out there, had a bunch of touchdowns, I think 4, in fact. He's 16-1 to win the Heisman right now, Mark Henry Jr.
Too tough to schedule. They're going to lose too many games.
I'm not buying Garrett Nussmeier.
I'm a Nuss guy.
I am too, but for Heisman?
I think he could get there. He's going to have to beat up on the bad teams. Like Jason Daniels.
To elevate those stats.
Yeah, tough trip in week 1 for a Heisman candidate.
Drew Aller might be a play.
They play a lot of cupcakes. It's going to come down to that Oregon and Ohio State, Matt. The 2 really, really tough matchups, and I don't believe in them to win either of them. But my biggest play of the weekend, not just college football, overall, the whole weekend, Ole Miss minus 8.5 at Kentucky.
Love Ole Miss.
Do not care that it's a rat trap. I do not care. I'm walking right in. I'm eating the cheese and saying, wow, this cheese is sitting right here. I don't know who left it out for me. And I'm going to eat it. But I just think that, normally I'd say, at Kentucky, maybe a little bit of a tricky spot. The reason that Ole Miss did not go to the playoff last year is because they lost as a 20-point favorite to Kentucky. You don't think that's been eating away at Lane Kiffin for 365 days? He's going to show up in Lexington wanting to score 65 points on them. I think he's going to put it on them. I don't think there's going to be any taking the pedal off the metal. I think he's going to want to embarrass Mark Stoops and kind of end the Mark Stoops era at Kentucky. I know Beef had a great Ole Miss stat. I'm trying to search his Twitter right now for it. He had a great Ole Miss stat. Yeah, Lane Kiffin 9-4-2 against the spread as a road favorite during his time at Ole Miss. Usually when he's the better team, he takes care of business, and usually he puts it on teams. So I expect a beatdown by Ole Miss.
Yeah, we got to start looking at Lane and Ole Miss as that team that will deliver when you wager on them, because majority of the times they do. Great stuff. Mark Henry Jr. Oh, by the way, DraftKings has the Chiefs listed as a 1.5 favorite next week.
Against us, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss-up. Really, really tough game to call. I mean, they have an extra day of rest against us, but they're coming back from Brazil. So does that we have an extra day of rest from them, and they're coming back from Brazil, but it's also at home in Kansas City there. Home opener there. They obviously had spent the whole offseason thinking about how we whooped them last year in the Super Bowl. So maybe a little bit of their Super Bowl revenge tour coming here. But I would probably lean with the Eagles.
Yeah, right there with you. Great job. Hour flying by as always. You'll get more of Mark tomorrow from 11 to 1 Tough Cover Radio Show. Mark Henry Jr., you know what to do.
Vanderbilt country. Let's ride.
Mark Henry Jr., there he is, ladies and gentlemen. You're the best. Good luck on those plays. Tough Cover Radio Show every Saturday right here on The Gambler. Kyle Fisher joins me on the other side. Kyle's heading out to Green Bay to be on the sidelines for CBS Sports as he trails Tracy Wolfson and does a great job there. Really dialed in on last night's Eagles game, so we'll dissect exactly his takeaways. And we got to break down some Phil's action because, man, yesterday was an unbelievable performance by Ranger Suarez. 2-0 victory. They roll on to Miami to take on the Marlins. Keep it going. Stay hot. Took 2 of 3 against Milwaukee. You can't do any better than that. Well, you can, actually. You can sweep them. Yeah, come on, Brace. Anyways, I'll take 2 of 3 all day, every day. Daily Ticket rolling on. Kyle Fisher joins me on the other side. More after this.
We don't just watch college football. We live it.
How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go. Scatterboo.
Join us for the stories, the scores, and the Saturday magic. It's The Gambler.
Philly, what's up? It's Paris the call. And these days, so much be happening. That's why I'm so happy that attorney Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123 is only one call away.
They're trying to unroll over my homeboy who leg just got rolled over.
What?
He ain't making no noise right now. I'm scared.
Yeah, attorney Big Al. Call him ASAP. 1-800-HURT-123. Any work injury, Big Al fights for you to get paid what you deserve. Let attorney Big Al handle that. Call 1-800-HURT-123.
Jason Fire Servicing, OPA, New Jersey. Hey, Sean Brace here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Listen up. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BRACE. That's code BRACE to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL. Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Super Gorillas Wrestling is going over the edge on Saturday, September 13th. The action explodes at the Harrison Park grounds, 22nd and Harrison Avenue. Spotlight Sports Entertainment brings you 7 edge-of-your-seat wrestling matches featuring the hardest-hitting Super Gorillas stars. Afterwards, enjoy some of the hottest local artists. Join us in the fight to slam down Alzheimer's, to raise funds to battle this disease. Bring your family, bring your energy, and get ready for a night of suplexes and soundtracks, all for one powerful cause.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of Arkema Inc. Well, Arkema is a specialty materials company. Our purpose is to bring sustainable solutions to the world, which really means that we're bringing a lot of materials to companies that impact people's lives. You see them in a lot of products that you touch day to day. We have composites that can be completely recycled. Probably our biggest aspect is providing durability for materials that our customers can use. So whether it's a 3D printed machine part that can be used and that's stronger than steel used in aerospace, we see ourselves very much as part of the community. For instance, our partnership with Habitat for Humanity brings the ability to be part of the community, support Philadelphia. Our employees really enjoy volunteering and seeing the impact they bring to people's lives, particularly around areas of education. Plus, one of our areas that we are in the market of is sport. So that brings about our association with the Philadelphia Union Foundation. If I look at Philadelphia compared to other places I've lived, we have really good people that are very well internationally connected, highly educated, and a good sense of community, and really tie into some of the values that Arkema likes to portray around solidarity, inclusion, performance. Those are values we want to have, and the people fit really well. So we find that people that join Arkema from the Philadelphia region are really successful with us.
To find out more, go to Arkema.com. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
The home you work so hard for is ready to work hard for you with a home equity loan from Rocket Mortgage. To learn how you can turn your home's equity into cash, visit rocketmortgage.com today. Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Eagles defensive lineman Jalen Carter won't repeat last night's spitting incident ever again. He said he let his teammates, coaches, and fans down. The Phillies, they continue their road trip tonight with the opener of a weekend set that's in Miami. Christopher Sanchez takes the ball there for Philadelphia. And NCAA officials are recommending one transfer portal window for football in January, eliminating a controversial period after spring practices. I'm Scott Davidson.
NFL Week 1 is here. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Busy on the Walt Whitman into New Jersey down to 42 south of Creek Road. 95 northbound back to Betsy Roster Bridge. Southbound calling Academy to Cotman. Right lane blocked with an earlier truck fire cleanup. Eastbound Schuylkill Stop and Go Boulevard to south. Architella total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much.
My lower back pain was interrupting family time.
My carpal tunnel syndrome was taking me away from work. That's why I talked to my cardiologist about my symptoms.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist and discovered I had ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis.
If you have heart failure and new or worsening symptoms, it could be ATTR-CM. ATTR-CM is a serious heart condition often accompanied by other non-heart-related symptoms. Talk to your cardiologist today and see what's possible. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Handoff goes inside to Barkley. He's at the 5. He's in for his first touchdown of the season. Barkley. Jalen Carter made the stupidest mistake by getting himself ejected before the first snap from scrimmage by spitting at Dak Prescott. But somehow or other, the Eagles overcame a 7-0 deficit, a 14-7 Dallas lead, pulled away. And they have beat the Dallas Cowboys 24-20.
The great Merrill Reese on the call, still sounding amazing. He's been calling Eagles games for 300 years, and it's amazing how great he still sounds.
300 years.
Maybe needs 3 spotters instead of 1 these days, but still, Merrill is the man, and he's doing it his way. You gotta love it. It's the Daily Ticket with you here. Always concerning when you get a kid in school, Kyle Fisher. This is new to me. So now when these new phone numbers pop up, I'm like, something going on? But no. We're all right. We're talking birds here. Kyle Fisher joining us on a Football Friday. Let's go. Of course, Kyle is a busy man with the Phillies doing what they're continuing to do here in the month of September, covering the fight-ins, of course, the Eagles, for everything over at the Philly Sports Network. And then, oh, by the way, heading out to Green Bay. Of all places, you get to see Micah Parsons in game 1, hopefully. And the Detroit Lions, which is going to be a banger of a game out there on the sideline following Tracy Wolfson for CBS Sports. I just want to say, I am a CBS Sports HQ aficionado.
Okay.
I wake up, I watch it, I come home, I watch it, I almost said TiVo. I DVR a lot of the programs from college football. They do college football. Look, ESPN does it well. But for my money, CBS Sports, I think is better than ESPN right now.
ESPN's kind of strayed away from what made it great at one point. I mean, clearly it's working for them. It's driving ratings on some level, but they're going more for a few focused personalities as opposed to delivering unique sports content. It's more about today's talking head saying a lot of things and saying them in an animated way more than it is about delivering facts and interesting insights. And CBS is stuck to the formula that used to work, and it's working for them. So I agree with you. I like that approach better, but you can't deny what ESPN is doing either, because clearly they're still a ratings monster. So
yeah, and it's ESPN, it's the mothership, and they will always be the ratings monster. Everybody thinks of ESPN when sports happen, but if you're not watching CBS Sports HQ, give it an opportunity, especially in the morning. It's highlights. It's not, the banter between the announcers or whatever, broadcasters. Bottom line is anchors, excuse me. That was the word I was looking for. They give you what's happening in the world of sports. They cover it all. PGA, it doesn't matter. They're on it. And I happen to think that they have some good personalities over there as well. So CBS Sports shout out. All right, let's go ahead and talk about last night's game. Open up the show by saying, Kyle, for me, my big takeaway is this. It's week one. It was week one. If you thought going into it that they should be the team that beat the Chiefs, which is historically one of the best teams we've ever seen, I don't know why you would think that. It's a new season. It's a new play caller. Everything is fresh. And yeah, a lot of the same pieces are there. I get it, but it's game one. Hands on hips. You saw offensive linemen tired. We got to ease into this. It is a week one victory over the Dallas Cowboys. It starts and ends there for me. Your thoughts, though?
Yeah, I agree. It's week one. None of the starters played in the preseason. It's a new play caller. They played later than every other team except for one last season. They all had way more media in the offseason than they did the season before. You want to say that those things don't matter, but we saw what it did to the 2008 Phillies. We saw a little bit of an effect on the 2018 Eagles. It's happened to numerous teams before, slow starts. It's not, and you still won. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Championship DNA is built in winning games that you shouldn't win, and that's what they did yesterday. There was a lot of opportunities. I mean, I know we're probably going to get into it, but if I told you that A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith would combine for 4 catches, you would have 9 penalties for 110 yards, and your MVP caliber running back would run for 3.3 yards before the game, what would you tell me?
They lost.
Yeah, and they win the game still. So to me, that's championship DNA. That's winning DNA right there. You win however you can. You control what you can control. And hey, we might not have our best stuff, but we go out there. I think it almost perfectly encapsulates that hype video that they put out before the game. What does toughness mean to you? So many of the players in that interview, in those interview segments, mentioned it's still fighting when you don't have your best stuff. It's the mental fight more than it is the physical fight, and they showed that last night.
I could play devil's advocate. I could be one of those talking heads on the other radio stations, and you and I could be good cop, bad cop here. And I could easily look at the defense going, Kyle, I know Jalen Carter was in there, but I don't think this team is going to have success getting after the quarterback. I just don't see it. Oh, that cornerback 2, that's going to be an issue all season long. What are we doing there? There are plenty of things that we can address, and I could raise it up and make more of a mountain out of a molehill here. Again, week one victory, that's where we're at. But there are concerns. With that being said, what are your thoughts as far as the defense is on the defensive side of the ball, getting after the quarterback? Did not register a sack, only 1 quarterback hit with Dak. Yeah, no Jalen Carter. That's going to have a huge impact on the game. That would be a significant difference to have him in there, frees up everybody else. But do you think it's as simple as that? Get Jalen Carter in, and this defense is going to be ferocious.
Yeah, I don't know if it completely evolves them, but it's a huge difference. He's a major impactful player. I did like what I saw from Jordan Davis yesterday. I feel like he made a lot of good moves, played the most plays most snaps he's played in 4 years, and the guy looked incredible. So I would say that that was a good sign to me, that once you have Jalen Carter back in there, that there's growth there. They talked about, some of the edges might not happen, but once the linebacker core is healthy, they're going to use Jahad Campbell a little bit differently. I think that he could bring some pressure off the edge as he did in college. So, and I liked what I saw from him. Him and was Makuba. Both of them, I thought both of them did a lot to force potential breakout plays back up the middle into pressure. So while they didn't get after Dak all that well, I think the Cowboys played a very good game plan against a weakened defensive front. And overall, I think that it paid off. But again, we talked about it, week one victory regardless.
How about this? Breaking news on the timeline. Eagles, right on cue. Bring in Zadarius Smith, a defensive end, formerly with the Detroit Lions, on a 1-year deal. Adam Schefter says, quote, it's another pass rusher for the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Now, always concerning to the fact that he is out there, but bottom line is there are plenty of players that were not signed that we will see get the phone call from time to time as the season gets started here. Now, Zadarius Smith, Kyle Fisher, I'm not going to sit here and believe that he's going to come in here and all of a sudden change the game and be that guy, but it's another move that Howie Roseman clearly saw that they needed to bring in some bodies, keep people fresh. Zadarius Smith, the last time was with the Detroit Lions. Did he get traded by the Browns? I forget what happened there, but he played for the Browns and the Lions. I think there was that trade, if I'm not mistaken, because Hutch went down with the injury. So I think that's why the Lions were aggressive. They made the move last year. Total sacks for Zadarius last year, 9 on the season. Played the previous year with the Cleveland Browns, had 5.5. One season with the Minnesota Vikings, had 10. When I think of Zadarius, I think about him with the Green Bay Packers. Had a pretty good 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. But again, for me, the big picture is that Howie saw one game, said, you know what? We're not where we need to be in this department, and therefore I need to go out there and make a move. I love Howie Roseman. Somebody at Stateside Live yesterday had a Howie frickin' Roseman jersey, and I wanted to buy it. It said Roseman on the back and then a dollar sign, and he was walking around with a ring too. Oh, it was perfect.
Okay.
Undefeated in that jersey, he said. But your thoughts on Howie Roseman making a move here as Zadarius?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a solid move. It's we know what he's done in the past. Doesn't mean he's going to come in here and be a huge difference maker right off the bat. But it's a team that knows themselves. You know, that's a big move from Howie Roseman. He could do the classic, we're good and we got some time to figure it out. Where this is kind of like their preseason. No, he saw a need. There was always talk all offseason how they might need an additional edge rusher. He didn't like what he saw. Goes out and makes a move. My guess is that they didn't see yesterday and say, you know what, we got to go get this guy. They were probably one of a few people interested in the past few weeks, and then they go out and get him. After the trade, which you mentioned from Cleveland last season, he tallied 4 sacks with Detroit. Now, Detroit's defense is great, but so is Vic Fangio's. He also tallied 36 quarterback pressures, ranking 3rd in pressures in the final 8 weeks of the season after the deadline. So even if he doesn't get to the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback, partnering him with an improved Jordan Davis, with Jalen Carter once he's back in the lineup. We'll have to see what happens from Loogie Gate, but we'll have to see what the fallout is there. But yeah, that's a solid move. Breaking news for sure, but solid move. Bring him in. If he can get pressure on the quarterback, that's what they need.
Yeah, it's just a spot where Howie Roseman is saying, you know what, I'm not happy. I know we can make some moves here. I had him probably on the chart or on the bulletin board in the office and said, you know what, let's make that phone call. Let's bring him in here. I'm curious, though. Let's talk a little bit about that cornerback 2 position and where we're at with that, because Jackson was a disaster. I'm not a Ringo guy. So where do they go now? I know other players were playing last night. Some players showed some flashes that they could potentially be the guy. Is that CB2 on the roster in your mind? Or do you think, hey, look, you got to stay with Jackson. You got to give Ringo a shot here. Where are you at with that discussion? Because clearly it was an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to see Keely Ringo get a shot. He was supposed to be the guy coming in. It seems like they keep giving him chances, and he hasn't really wrapped his arms around that opportunity just yet. Excuse me 1 second.
Clear it, baby.
I mean, Jacorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson. Nobody screams a standout performer at the moment, and I don't think they want to use Coop in that role, whether he's not ready or they just feel more comfortable with him in a dime or a potential safety move. You don't want to teach him too many things at once. Kind of let him get his feet wet in this new hybrid role that they projected for him during training camp. One thing that adding Zadarius Smith and getting additional pressure on the quarterback will help is making that matter a little bit more, because quarterback's going to have to get a little bit less, rather, because the quarterback will have to get the ball out of their hands a little bit quicker. Don't have the time to go through their progressions, maybe. So that should help support that. But ultimately, if you're just talking about the backs, what we learned is that it's still a problem. That's what we learned in game 1.
Yeah, and it's tough because you know how talented Cooper DeJean is, right? But he's playing his spot really well. So do you want to mess with that, right? Don't mess with happy. Don't mess with good either. So I'm kind of where that conversation is. But it's clear that that was part of the plan for the Cowboys. We're going to attack CB2. We're going to stay away from Quinyon as much as possible. Now, they did take shots, especially that one down the field that CeeDee Lamb did drop. That was on Quinyon. But bottom line is these offensive coordinators are smart. Like, hey, man, that's clearly an issue or a spot we need to target. So I think the Eagles need to be proactive there. Don't know what's available, but I think you either got to be crafty here or figure it out real fast. And next week, they have the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a pretty good passing attack. We'll see them in action tonight. So it's clearly something that Howie Roseman needs to address. We'll see what happens on that one. Anything else to add to that conversation?
Yeah, just, they're not going to have that week, that really early bye week like they did last year to take a moment and pause to figure some things out. So it's going to be a little bit of a different challenge. Maybe an outsider being brought in is the move, at least to put a Band-Aid on it until they get some time to figure it out internally.
Wow, Packers listed Parsons among 7 other players questionable for Sunday.
Ooh, I'll have to check in with my girl Tracy, see what she thinks. He was at practice today, but
I saw him practicing. He looked fine.
It seems like he's going to practice, but they probably just want, you have to give guys designations. Hey, he's been hurt. Let's give him the questionable. We don't want to guarantee anything, and we'll put him out. They don't want to get accused of not letting it be known or anything like that. So put it this way, I hope he plays, because it would be really excited to see a guy like Micah Parsons, since the first time since college, being able to root for him without instead of watching and hating everything that he does on the field.
Green Bay 2.5-point favorites, 47.5. That's a game at 425. Quickly on this, the 4:00 games on Sunday, Titans and Broncos, 4:05. That's a big, big game. That is survivor play number 1 for everybody from coast to coast. Broncos have taken the most action in survivor pools, no matter where you're at. They're 8.5-point favorites. It was the biggest spread on the board. I think the Eagles did go off. Yeah, Eagles did go off at 8 in most shops, 8.5 as well. So tied there. But for Sunday, it's the biggest spread on the board. So no surprise that everybody is taking the Broncos there. 4:05. We got the 49ers and Seahawks in NFC West battle. Hawks plus 1.5 at home. Dogs, Christian McCaffrey, that came out the news as far as after a practice, his calf started acting up. They said it's not the end of the world, but it is definitely something that should be concerning to McCaffrey / 49ers fans. Also at 4:25, you got the Lions and Packers, as we just discussed there. And then the Texans and the Rams close up the 4:00 window at 4:25. LA at home against a really good defensive team in Houston. Speaking about bad backs with Parsons, of course, the big storyline from the offseason was Matthew Stafford and everything he's got to go through to get ready for this game. They're 3-point favorites. 43.5 is our total on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, staying with the Birds last night. Jalen Carter, there's not much that I can add other than the fact that, it can't happen. He should know better. I don't have any interest in saying, well, Dak did it first. I'm ready to move on from it entirely. I think Nick Sirianni, with what he said, was perfect. If you didn't hear how Nick Sirianni addressed it after the game, I'll play it for you right now, but I think the coach absolutely nailed this.
Yeah, I'm going to keep all our conversations and all my disciplinary things in-house, but we got to fix it as coaches.
Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to, Kyle. Look, these things happen. These are modern-day gladiators. Cooler heads should prevail, but I'm not about to go compete for 60 minutes at my job head-to-head where I'm attacking, and it's about, getting after the quarterback and just breathing fire. No, when I walk into this building, I come in here and I sit down in a nice, comfortable chair. I don't have anybody spitting around me or anything like that. Dak spit. Jalen Carter got caught up in a moment. It's a shame he got thrown out. I think we would have saw a drastic difference on that side of the ball if he's out there. Unfortunately, he missed game 1. We'll see him back in action for game 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's all I really have to say about it. What do you have to say?
Yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, he knows it can't happen. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. You do want to start there, right? You could say, it was a small thing. He spit for. you have to be better than that. You have to be more mature. I don't care how young you are. I know everybody talks about, I don't want him to lose the grittiness that might cause him to be a guy who reacts that way, but you got to know better. They're baiting you, dude. Like that's what that was, right? And if you want to be able to repeat, you have to be able to keep a cooler head. It wasn't even a big moment in the game. It was before the game even started, and you let yourself go a little bit. But I like what he said what he said after the game. I think it was, and I apologies if it wasn't, but I think it was Ruben Frank on the post game who said, "Oh, I needed him to show more remorse." So you wanted him to read a pre-written PR statement? No, I'd much rather hear from the guy. And his response was, I know it can't happen. I haven't talked to my coach and my quarterback yet, but I intend to, and I intend to prove to the team that they can believe me that it's not going to happen again. And I've said that's not a direct quote, but it's, to me, there's not much more to say. It happened. If something like this happens again, whether it's spit or a silly personal foul penalty or something going above and beyond, then you start being concerned about it. Week 1, emotional reaction. They'll work to get it under wraps. And if they do, it's a big non-issue.
That's what it comes down to for me. And Ruben Frank, yeah, of course he would say something like that. I get it. Ruben Frank one time like rolled his eyes at me when I was in I've told this story many times before. It was the NFC Championship game against the Vikings. And, there's a lot of people in there that maybe don't cover the team from week to week. And Zach Ertz, I finally got an opportunity to get him. I was doing stuff for Fox 29, and he was so mad that I asked my question before him. He's like, oh, he did that. Like, it took a lot for me not to say something to him afterwards. Like, dude, really? Like, what? Did you have an issue with that? Like, what's going on here? It was just like, relax, dude. But he thinks he's the smartest man out there. He is good. He's good at what he does. I do like reading his posts. Not gonna lie about that. But he is, a diva.
Little old school mentality there for sure. Old school mentality.
My wife.
The beat reporters have to get their question in first. Okay, just ask the question. Like
my wife walked by the TV one time and she goes, "There has never been a woman on television that looked like that ever in life." I was like, you got me on that one. All right, let's keep it moving. Yeah. Having some fun here, Kyle Fisher. All right, so defensive issues, of course, they got to figure that out as far as cornerbacks are concerned. Let's talk about the quarterback. Get your thoughts as far as Jalen Hurts and his performance last night. For me, I opened up the show saying 19 of 23, allowing the game to come to him and making those 2 touchdown scampers into the end zone and just being the difference in the game. This is the guy that I've been so proud that he is our quarterback. It's not a shock that he's been in 2 Super Bowls, won 1. And if you continue to play like that yesterday, allowing the game breathe, come to you, make plays where you need to. Jahan Dotson, hell of a play there. Like, all is good in my world, right? But the issue is that, like, that these receivers need to be fed. That things are going to happen eventually. And it's not a media thing. This is A.J. Brown. So he's not going to be happy if 3 straight weeks they win, and yet he only tallies up 5 total catches in those 3 games. So there's got to be a little bit of, a yin to the yang here, Kyle. And I don't think I'm off by saying that. This isn't rah-rah high school football. It sucks to say it, but these guys have egos and they want to eat. So what is your takeaway from last night? And do you have any concerns as far as the passing game is concerned and getting the ball to A.J. Brown, getting the ball to Devontae Smith, forcing it their way, in fact, and allowing them to make plays?
I'd be interested to hear a candid version of what the game plan was last night, because nobody knows except for the people in that building if AJ's still nursing something, if part of the game plan was to use him as a decoy. But a lot of folks who have watched the All-22 feel that way, feel like he wasn't moving as explosively as he might normally do. That will be an indicator, right? If it comes out that he is dealing with something and he doesn't see a large target share the next couple of weeks, that might be a reason. If he's fully healthy and looks explosive, and then you also don't see a large target share, that's where it's a concern. To me, it's you use him as a decoy, you see what you can do. They took the underneath. They took a slow approach to the game as they unraveled this new game plan from Kevin Patullo. But to me, it was, I hate to go back to this, but it's week 1. Let's see how it goes in the next couple of weeks. I know that it's not as you have a long period of time as baseball, and whatever, call me a baseball guy, but We have a little bit to figure out if this is going to be a true problem or not. And to me, it's just not one yet. To me, overall, Jalen Hurts had a great game. You saw what he did. He threw a dime to Dotson, similar to what he threw in the Super Bowl. I mean, the guy made throws when he had to. He used his legs to make things happen when he had to. A huge third down run. The touchdown, which was not a tush push, it was an actual scramble. He doesn't scramble that much, and he made it work. His explosiveness looks like it returned to what it did that season on the first Super Bowl run. I think people were worried that he didn't look as explosive on his cuts the last 2 seasons, and I saw some of that in week 1. And again, no preseason, so just getting his feet underneath him. You mentioned he was 19 for 23. Well, one was a drop by Saquon, which wide open. The other 3 were throwaways.
Yep.
So outside of one drop, he was 19 for 19.
Dan Orlovsky said he was perfect.
Don't count. Like
Dan Orlovsky said he played perfect game last night.
He hit Barkley in the hands. Remember when everybody freaked out about last year when they threw the ball to Barkley and they didn't get the first down because he dropped it? Didn't cost him as much this year, but
shouldn't have thrown the ball there, but that's all right.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that right now, Sean. You're just going to make me mad.
If they didn't throw the ball, they win the game. If they don't throw the ball, they win the game. But that's all right. That's all right.
They won the big one. That's what matters.
I know. Oh, and I was so heated over that. I was so mad over that one.
Oh, I remember listening.
Yeah, that was bad. All right. But yeah, like Jalen Hurts, come on, man. It's just funny because I don't allow these things to seep into my head, but we see them and like the takes, and it's like, oh man, I'm not trying to give credence to any of these thoughts that are out there from these talking heads that are like, well, Jalen Hurts and this and this and that as far as passing. Like, we know how good this dude is, and he is so smart, and he continues to grow. And it's just incredible to see this on a weekly basis with a new play caller. I don't think that gets talked about enough. I know you address it all the time, rightfully so. So here he is again with a new guy he needs to get comfortable with. And I just thought Jalen played a great game yesterday, a great game. And unfortunately, egos are out there at the professional level. And I don't think it's going to be a game where A.J. Brown is only catching one ball. He's that talented, but the one ball he did catch was pretty damn big.
Yeah. A sign to me that I would say for maybe they were trying to hide A.J. a little bit as he continues to recover and use him as a decoy. They used 12 personnel, so running 2 tight ends, almost 34% of the time. They used 13 personnel, so 3 tight ends rolling out there. Now, whatever, one of them is considered a fullback at times, but they did that 13% of the time yesterday. They did it 3.2% of snaps last season. So there was a clear difference in we want as many big bodies out here. We want shorter routes. We want protection for our quarterback to make things happen with his legs. We want protection for Barkley to make things happen with his legs. It was just a different game plan that didn't call for those guys to come up big. And the one catch that AJ had, like you said, it was a big one.
Yeah, it really was. Eagles end up winning 1-0 on the season. Howie Roseman just made a move for Zadarius Smith, defensive end, who's going to come in here and be the edge rusher and fill in a little bit of the void there to help out with some bodies on the rotation. That's a good get there. A lot of people singing the praise of Howie yet again. 3-time Pro Bowler, a guy that had 9 total sacks for 2 different teams last year from Cleveland and the Detroit Lions. A lot to discuss as far as the Birds are concerned. We'd love to get your thoughts. One big takeaway from last night, Kyle Fisher, for me, it's 1-0 on to the next. And oh, by the way, Kansas City playing tonight, so we get to scout the opponent. That as if we don't know enough about Kansas City. And that's a big one next week where Kansas City is already a 1.5 favorite at home against the Birds, 425 next Sunday. But your big takeaway, if I did not allow you to say they're 1-0, it was a win over the Cowboys in division. If I remove that from the conversation, what's a big takeaway for you?
Your star running back rushed for 3.3 yards. Your star wide receiver had 1 catch. Your second receiver had 3 catches. You had 110 penalty yards. Your best defensive player was thrown out of the game before it started, and you walked away with a victory. To me, that shows a lot about the character and the DNA of this team, the toughness of this team. The one only other thing I could think about besides weighing all those things is I obviously need to cut down on the penalties. But if Carter is going to be emotional enough to spit on the quarterback before the game even starts, what is he going to do against a team that wants their lick back next week? So this next week, as much of the focus needs to be on game planning for the Kansas City Chiefs, somebody needs to be working with Jalen Carter one-on-one on some deep breaths, some breathing exercises, some woosah, and make sure you stay focused on the game because you're going to need it against the tough Kansas City Chiefs team.
You're right about that. Chiefs and Chargers tonight, 3-point spread. Chiefs and Chargers both in Brazil, Kyle Fisher. Hey now, have you ever been to Brazil?
I have not.
I was wondering maybe they sent you that. Who had that game last year? NBC? NBC had that game? Eagles.
I believe it was NBC, yeah.
Does NBC have tonight too?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Let's find out.
I think that is the case. Obviously, CBS doesn't have it. You would have known that.
I would have known that.
Fox doesn't have it. It's an NBC game.
NBC. All right.
Yeah. All right. A take on tonight's game, if you would. 3-point spread Chiefs. For me, I look at, let me bring down the salsa music, although it is very soothing. Ever go salsa dancing?
No.
Me neither.
I would enjoy it, though. I enjoy a nice little dance. You know, I might not be the most every wedding I'm out on the dance floor. So a couple weeks ago, I usually try and run things if I can, depending on the other groups. So
get out of here.
Oh yeah, man. I go out there. I get after it. My knees hate me the next day, but I enjoy it.
Love it. All right. As far as this game is concerned, I do look at the Chiefs. I don't know how you'd bet against the Chiefs. They just find ways to win these games. And I really do feel like you are going to see a rejuvenated Kelsey. You're going to see an offensive attack with, of course, those receivers that they have on the Chiefs side, specifically Xavier Worthy, who I think is going to have a big season. But it comes down to just that championship mentality, DNA, as you just pointed out with what we saw at the Eagles. It just applies here for the Chiefs. Now, I want to give credit to the Chargers, but losing Slater at the tackle position, that is a huge loss. Huge loss. I'm still wondering about the skill position players from the Chargers. I know defensively they got some players over there as well. Like Harbaugh's a really good coach. I want to believe in him. It's a tight game. It's a 3-point spread. It's not a coin flip. It's a 3-point spread. But I'm going to take the Chiefs here. It's week 1. We don't know much, or we need to learn a little bit more about both these teams, who they are in 2025. But if you maybe make a play tonight, and I'm going to have action on it, it's a Friday night game here in Brazil. Give me the Chiefs -3. Your thoughts?
You're right. It is hard to bet against them. I think the big thing is going to be watching everybody knows that Justin Herbert has an electric arm, but Harbaugh really did a good job of developing the run game last year. Chiefs went out and made a trade on the defensive line because they weren't satisfied with what they saw in the preseason. So it'll be interesting to see if Najee Harris plays alongside the rookie Omarion Hampton. Let's see what that looks like. That's probably the most intriguing matchup for me, is how does the run game look against the Chiefs, especially because obviously that's the Eagles' strength. So that would be what I would watch. I would still bet the Chiefs if I'm putting money down, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. I think you have a close game, and the Chiefs, not maybe the exact layout of last night's game, but I think you have a pretty close game between those two.
Or is it on YouTube?
I was actually about to. Yeah, I'm seeing that it's on YouTube. Maybe it's produced by NBC, but it looks like the game's going to be on YouTube.
So this isn't on.
I guess not. I guess, dude, you have to have 9 streaming services to watch the entire NFL now. It's crazy.
There's a NFL game on. Yeah, they've done this before, Sean. What am I doing?
It was on Netflix last year, but
yeah. Good grief. All right, my fault. I did see that on ESPN on the box score here. It says YouTube. I'm like, wait a minute. It's not NBC. My fault. But it is produced by NBC. So you'll hear, I believe. Yeah, we'll learn. Nobody cares.
I didn't even know where it was going to be. So
that's right. Yeah, well, Colin Cowherd didn't actually even know it was being played in Brazil. So it is what it is.
That's better than us. We knew that.
Yeah, we did know that. All right. So I'm looking at Worthy. I think he's going to have a big game here. anything from a player perspective that you would look at, maybe we can give a lean to for some people out there that are looking for some same game parlay help here? Are you buying into Ladd McConkey being as good as he was last year? Do you think Travis Kelce can turn back the hands of time or make it look like a playoff game? Because that dude is awesome in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Foot off the gas pedal during the regular season, but it's game one. Just got engaged with Taylor Swift. Is this a Travis Kelce night tonight?
I was going to say a couple days extra rest between this game and week 2. You just got engaged, bringing some energy. Yeah, I think he's a guy you can look at. I also like Ladd McConkey a lot, so I think that could be a move. I haven't looked at the props, so if you got an interesting one between the two of them, I can pin one down for you. But
well, Ladd McConkey, for as far as putting the touchdown to side here. 80 plus receiving yards. Sheesh, plus 114. You can get him at 70 plus at minus 129. Trying to find receptions. Receptions for Mr. Ladd McConkey, 6 plus at minus 127. I know he had a great season last year, but good grief. Again, who else are they throwing the football to? I guess is the question you have to ask yourself.
Keenan Allen's back, baby. Come on.
And
McConkey, excuse me, I said McConkey, tripping over myself.
We know who you meant. He did have 82 grabs, 112 targets last year, over 1,100 yards. So, he had a hell of a season, 7 touchdowns. And, of course, that was the year Herbert didn't turn the football over at all. Did have a great season up until that playoff game where he did throw 4 interceptions against the Texans. But Ladd, pretty darn good. And, man, it's crazy to think that Bowers and him really good on that Georgia squad, came from the same damn team. Incredible stuff there.
Yeah.
All right. And then Xavier Worthy, that's my guy from the Chiefs. I'm going to rock with him on that one. Take him for yards, take him for receptions, take him for anytime touchdown. I'm all about Xavier Worthy tonight. I think Andy Reid has been scheming up all during the offseason, getting ready for this matchup to get the ball in his hands. So that's where I'm looking for tonight. All right, let's get the Sunday card. I want to get your thoughts as far as some of these games here. We'll go down and start at 1 o'clock and just to see if we can find maybe a dog that is barking, because now is the time, Kyle, that maybe we can allow ourselves to believe that the sports books don't know everything, right? Like we're learning. We're all going to learn at the same time. So maybe some of these dogs don't need to be as big as underdogs as they are. Maybe some of them are barking really loud and we can throw some money line parlays together. I know that's a big popular thing, especially in week 1 and week 2 there. So let's open up with the Giants and the Commanders here. 1 o'clock kick on Sunday. Commanders at home, 6-point favorites, 45.5. Big storyline from the Commanders was the offseason. Terry McLaurin, but he's back in the mix. About 2 weeks to get ready. Your thoughts on McLaurin and 6-point favorites here against the Giants, who look pretty good this preseason?
I don't have a lot of faith in the New York Giants. And I've talked often this offseason right here on this program about how I think Washington has something brewing down there. I think McLaurin, he wasn't a bring him in this late in the offseason. He's been with that team. So even if you make the deal official and he doesn't join training camp right away, he still knows that team. He knows the game plan. He knows the schemes. You add in some other pieces. They bring in a lot of veteran O-line depth. We know how important building in the trenches is here in Philadelphia. I think that's a runaway. I think they beat up on the Giants in that 1 o'clock game.
I'm having a hard time betting against the Commanders in this one. It's a very popular pick. A lot of people are talking themselves into the Giants. I think that defensive front is for real. I think they're still going to struggle scoring points.
Me too.
And Jaden Daniels is special. He has got that team believing. 6, though, it's tough, but I would probably lay the 6 with the Commanders in that one. I know it's a very popular money line play with the Giants at plus 225. I just think Jaden Daniels is the real damn deal. I think we're all in agreement on that one. It's just not going to be him missing here in week 1. Bengals and Browns, also another spot that people are trying to talk themselves into. The Browns here. Browns are going to be god-awful. They had a win total of 5. I don't care if Joe Flacco's starting. I don't care if it's Shedeur Sanders. I don't care if it's Dylan Gabriel. I don't care if Deshaun Watson comes out there with one leg. The Bengals are going to roll here. It's 5.5, 48.5. Defensively, though, big issues for the Cincinnati Bengals. We know that. but I don't expect them to be as bad as they were last year. So for me, it's another favorite play at -5.5 with the Bengals on the road.
I'm kind of surprised it's only 5.5. I think that Cincinnati is a lot of people's darling pick this year. Maybe that's why they keep it close. Again, kind of one of those Vegas knows something the rest of us don't. But Joe Burrow, I would imagine Joe Burrow would pick them apart in week one. I know he's gotten off to slow starts before, but it would surprise me if this game was close beyond halfway through the second quarter. I'd lay money on Cincy easy.
I like that. Jets and Steelers. I'll take the dog here in this one. They're catching 3 at home, 37.5. That's the Jets, Jets. Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't as bad as his numbers were last year, but he's slow. He's old, and I just don't see them hitting the ground running here in week one. Could they win by a touchdown? Could they win by more than 3? Sure. But if you're making me make a play in this one, I'm going to take the Jets at home. I'm just not buying into Pittsburgh, being a huge different team here with Rodgers as a starting quarterback. I'll take the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. He's going back there. We'll have to see what Justin Fields looks like. I think he got the start right. I know that. I think that that's a safe bet. I also think that the Steelers are going to be better than the Jets at the end of the season. I'm going to go different on you this one, just so we're not picking the same thing every single pick. I'm going to take the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are going to light things up, but I think we're going to see a nice connection between Metcalf and Rodgers. Rodgers had some solid numbers by the end of the season. It didn't look as electric as he has in the past, but I think you're going to see an impressive week one and get a lot of people buying into them, even if it doesn't look that way all season long.
I was a Spencer Rattler fan on Instagram many, many years ago. He threw this one pass where he wasn't looking, and he just threw it, and it was a thing of beauty. And then I got to watch him in college, and I thought he was a pretty good player too as well. And then I watched him last year at the NFL, and I'm like, ooh, man, he stinks. But he's getting the start for the Saints. Here's the thing, though. It's a new day in New Orleans. I know they're not a good team. This is game one. I think the team is going to have attitude. I think there will actually be some fans in the building. Place will be rocking. And I'm not sold on the Cardinals, and they're giving 6.5 on the road. Yeah, I'll take the 6.5. I'm going to take the Saints at home. I'm going to roll with the dog here. 43.5 is our total in this one. Kellen Moore. It's a new guy in charge down there in New Orleans. Give me the Saints plus 6.5.
I think that the Cardinals will win, but I think the 6.5 is a safe bet because I don't expect it to be a high scoring game. Saints, no matter what they did this offseason, it was going to be tough to really flip the script on their rush defense. It was ranked 31st last season. On the flip side, Cardinals 7th ranked rushing offense last season. I know that it's different teams, but we know what the quarterback can do. We know what they've been able to do with James Conner and some other running backs there as far as scheming those guys up. Because it's going to be run heavy from Arizona, I think that it will be a closer score, which is where the 6.5 comes in. So I think if you're betting on the line, 6.5 is a good bet. If you're picking outright, I'd go Cardinals with the victory.
Yeah, I'm going to take the dog in that one. And hopefully Kellen Moore can get a little bit of that Schottenheimer thing going. Look, Dallas had some fight with them. It's a new season, new day, first game of the year. So the team is going to respond to that. So I'll take the 6.5 there in that one. Next game up, Bucks and Falcons. Really, really fun game. Opening up the season here. 1.5 favorites. Tampa Bay has won the South 4 straight seasons. Will we finally see somebody break through and steal that division? We'll find out. It's a big game. I'm believing in Penix. Maybe I should be leaning towards the Bucks here, 47.5, but I'll take the home Falcons catching 1.5.
I am going to take the Buccaneers. I think Baker Mayfield has really found himself down there. Great coaching, great defense down in Tampa Bay. I think you're going to see an explosion of offense from the Buccaneers, and I think you're looking at a big day from Baker Mayfield. So I'm going Bucks all day in that one until Penix shows me otherwise. What I saw from the Falcons last season did not inspire me. So give me Tampa Bay.
That's fair. It's hard to argue because of the expectations. And by the way, what Tampa has built over there, they had a great general manager, great playmakers, dealing with some injuries, really good run game, solid defense. Bowles a hell of a coach on the defensive side as well. But give me the Falcons to stir it up, and maybe there's a new sheriff in town as far as the South is concerned. Panthers and Jags, 3.5. Jags are favored at home. Duval, new energy there too as well. 46.5. I'll take the Jags. I'm going to ride with Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor's going to have a bounce back season in a big way. Has some weapons down there. Decent run game. I like the Jags here. I'm not buying into the Panthers.
Can I say I wouldn't put money on this game and I just want to watch to see what Travis Hunter does? Can that be my choice? Because this is not a game that I'm excited about. I think a lot of people have hope that the Jags will look a little bit better. They just seem like a lost franchise right now. And I don't think that there's any guarantee that Trevor Lawrence is ever going to look like the guy he once was. The most interesting thing in that game to me is the play share on both sides of the ball and to see what Travis Hunter does. Nothing more, nothing less. If you're making me pick something, I'll take the Panthers just to be different. But honestly, I'm not bringing my wallet out anywhere near that one.
That's funny. Yeah, not bringing the wallet out either, but if I'm picking it, give me the Jags. Dolphins and Colts. I like the dog here. I'm surprised that the Colts are favored. Dolphins plus 1.5, 47.5. Danny Dimes, get out of here with that nonsense. Give me the Dolphins on the road.
I could not agree more. The Dolphins, I don't think they'll look like they did when they were putting up, 40 plus points a couple years ago, but what from the Colts has given you any sort of inspiration that they're going to turn things around, especially when they bring in Daniel Jones and he wins the competition. Maybe they prove me wrong. Maybe he looks good and they figured out a way to coach him up. He was a highly touted prospect at one point. Guys do figure it out. Look at the guy I just praised in Baker Mayfield. But I don't think that comes to fruition just yet. Give me Miami, even if it's a close one. I think the points don't matter.
Raiders and Patriots in the 1:00 window to close it up there. Interesting game because you have two new head coaches, Pete Carroll and Vrabel. So new vibes. As I said, it applies here where, you don't want to let the coach down. You want to play hard. Who's got better skill position players? It's hard for me to say that the Raiders don't, right? Like, you look across what they have, especially on both sides of the ball, I would probably say the Raiders, that number has come down. It was 3. It's now 2.5. So money coming in on Las Vegas here. But, man, Drake May is pretty damn good. Vrabel at home to open up the season. I would like to see the Patriots get this victory here. I'm leaning towards the Patriots. I think I took the Patriots in the one league I'm in as far as ATS is concerned. I'll go Pats here, but, man, I'm really second-guessing myself.
It's funny that for looking at these teams for the last couple seasons, you might not be excited by this matchup, but there's a lot of intrigue. Like you said, 2 new coaches. What is Drake May going to do? I think everybody, whether you're a fantasy football player or not, is excited about what Ashton Genty can do. I am going to take the Raiders, but I think that you're going to look back on this and be surprised that the Raiders handled the Patriots. That being said, give me the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders. I think that they win this one, not by a huge margin, but probably 6 or 7 points.
The Raiders. Titans and Broncos, 8.5. Any chance Titans keep it close?
Yes. I don't know why. I just got this feeling that it's not going to go. I think the Broncos are everybody's darling this season. I think they see a lot of intrigue. I think Cam Ward is going to surprise some people. Not that he's going to be electric all season, but I think week 1, he's going to surprise some people. It's close. They don't win the game, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer than a lot of people expect.
I think Ridley's going to have a good season.
Think so? I wouldn't doubt it.
8.5 seems like it's a lot. Yeah, I'm not really.
I'm not saying it's going to be that, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, unless a blowout by you is a touchdown. I'm thinking 10 points. Picking it, obviously I'm going the other way, but.
Niners and Seahawks. McCaffrey plays. Where are you at with this one? 49ers on the road, 1.5 favorite against Seattle. I think this is a big year for San Francisco. They were extremely disappointing. I think they got some playmakers on. I think that you can run the football against them. It's not the way we think about the 49ers of in the years past, but offensively, I believe in what they have there. I know that they've been dealing with some injuries, especially at the wide receiver position, but Kittle's going to be making plays for him. Good run game. Shanahan always buying in what he's selling. Purdy has proved his worth. So I'm going to take the 49ers in this spot, but maybe without McCaffrey back there, that could be a huge deal, deflating across the board, and it could be the Seahawks in week 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold, we'll have to see if what he was able to accomplish and learn in Minnesota carries over. I think the bigger story is Seattle's defense looks to be a pretty strong one once again this season. If CMC plays, he's a difference maker no matter how good your defense is. If he doesn't, you got to go the other way. So if you're making a bet today and you're assuming McCaffrey's playing, I'm picking the 49ers without a doubt. If he ends up not playing, obviously it's going to depend on the line, but I think Seattle can pull the victory out regardless.
All right, next game up, Texans and Rams. Interesting game here. Rams at home, 3-point favorites, 43.5. Houston, great defense. LA, oh man, I can't wait to see what Devontae Adams looks out there with Stafford at the quarterback position. Puka, I think it's Cooper Kupp times 10 with Devontae Adams. I really do believe it, as good as Cooper Kupp was, but he's been banged up. I don't think he's had a complete season in like 3 straight years, if I'm not mistaken, but he's out. He's in Seattle, a matter of fact, but Rams 3-point favorites. I'm actually going to take the Texans in this one. I believe in the defense. I like CJ Stroud. I think the Texans go in there and find a way to win. I took them on the money line at plus 140. Give me the Texans.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Do we know, is Stafford good to play? Is he definitely playing?
He's definitely playing.
Okay.
Definitely.
To me, that's all you need to know. If Stafford's in the game, I think they have a strong defense, and I think Stafford's good enough to get it done against them. I think the Texans are going to look better than a lot of people expect. What they did on the offensive line, they added another weapon in the draft in the first round, but the veterans that they added to the offensive line is going to be the difference maker for me, allowing CJ Stroud to keep things close. That being said, if I'm making a wager, I'm definitely going with. Ooh, sorry, I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, all right. You don't want to take the Rams. That's what happened.
No, I did. I said the Rams at the top.
I can't believe I'm no one to take that. All right, in the final game, I can't wait to get your thoughts on this one. Being up there for it last year when 2-point conversion falls through Mark Andrews' hands, and the Bills end up winning and roll on. They're running it back. Sunday Night Football. Bills here catching 1.5. Is the wrong team favored?
Ooh, man. Probably, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a damn good game regardless, but I think that's Sean, you're asking me a lot here. These are two great teams. I was just on the Fantastic Sports Show, and our bold predictions, Jason's was that the Bills make the Super Bowl. Mine was that the Ravens make the Super Bowl. And the only reason I didn't go with the Bills is because he picked them first. So
it's going to be a bold prediction because it's not the Chiefs?
Basically, yeah.
Oh. It's like, wait, what?
They unseat them. That's big, right?
Is it
you unseat the team that's made it 4 of the last 5 years?
In the hierarchy as far as bold takes are concerned, I think it's low on the chart, but
that's
it
fair.
Is bold. I won't deny that. I'm trying to pull up the odds real quick as far as futures are concerned to win. Yeah, dude, they got better odds than the Chiefs. No, it's not bold. It's not bold. The Bills and the Ravens are tied at the top 6-1. Then the Eagles at 7-1. Then the Chiefs at plus 850. Come on.
You know what? Okay, here's the official pick for that Sunday night game then.
Yes, tell me.
I think the difference maker, the reason I said the Ravens would make it, is how much improved they are in an already stout defensive side of the ball. I think what they're able to do with Jair Alexander coming in, giving Kyle Hamilton more flexibility, I think that's going to be a difference maker. I don't know. I'm not good at making odds, but I think the Ravens will win that game in week 1.
Because I was leaning towards the Bills, but I like where your mind is at with the Ravens there. That's Sunday Night Football. We got some time until we got to decide whether or not we're going to take that game or not, but it's definitely something that will be on the card because, of course, football is back in our lives. You got to love it. All right. Great job. We went down the board, something that I would like to do with you throughout the course of this season, sir. So nice work by you on that one. And again, you're just getting your season started. You're heading out to Green Bay to be on the sideline for CBS Sports. Can't wait, my friend, to be looking for you. That's going to be a great game, and enjoy it. Safe travels. Eagles are 1-0. We're good. We roll on, baby. But tonight we got ourselves a good one. Looking forward to that. Phillies, big-time victory there. They got to just continue to do what they're doing. And the Dodgers, hey, if they want to lose the rest of the way, we're fine with that as well.
Yeah. Get that second bye. Heck, that series victory gets you one step closer to that number one spot. It's a little bit of a stretch, but big series coming up. The Marlins always play them well. Not too worried about this weekend. Big series against the Mets next week back in Citizens Bank Park.
Oh, we do have a comment coming in. John Fisher wants to know, who is this guy? Yeah, come on, man. Who's this guy giving picks? Yeah, he knows a thing or two about a thing or two as well. The Fisher brothers.
Yes, he does.
Love that. Kyle, great stuff, man. Looking forward to the football season. It's here. Enjoy being back out in the sideline, man. I gotta imagine that's like a kid in a candy store deal. So nice work again, being back out there on the sidelines for CBS Sports. We'll be watching for you. Safe travels. Enjoy the game, and we'll catch up next week.
Appreciate you, sir. Talk to you then.
My man, there he is, Kyle Fisher on the Gambler Stream. Very cool. Make a pick, he says. Yeah, make a pick. Sometimes I gotta yell at your brother. Sometimes I gotta, convince him. Get in there and give me a pick. Kyle's fantastic. You can find him on socials at Kyle Fisher 45. Real easy to do so. And continue to read all of the great content over there at Philly Sports Network. They got a great crew over there. Do nice work covering all things Philadelphia sports. Once again, Philadelphia SN. All right, that's going to do it for me here on our first Football Friday NFL edition. Looking forward to tonight. Going to be enjoying this game with my eye on Xavier Worthy more than anything. I think the Chiefs are to play, but love to see the Chargers sneak one out in game one. Have bet against the Chiefs in game one. Matter of fact, last year, even though they won that game, they did not cover against the Ravens. I think I did it 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not opposed to going against the Chiefs in these spots. But tonight, I think it's a Chiefs play. Brazil kind of changes things up just slightly, but it's going to be a fun game. Friday Night Lights on YouTube. How about that? Everybody, enjoy your weekend. Jam-packed weekend of programming for us here on The Gambler, starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. live from Park Sportsbook Casino. Dick Girardi, Mike Kern, followed by Mark Henry Jr. at 11 a.m. College football rundown show, myself and Beef, live at 3:30. Villanova football taking on Colgate. That's coming your way at 6 p.m. Sunday, we're doing it again. Countdown to payout. Be back out here at 11 a.m. with Roy Burton and the Gambler Gang, getting you ready for all things 1 p.m. kickoffs and more. And then we're back at it next week. Jam-packed week of programming, of course, talking about things Eagles and Phillies. Coming up next, the College Football Sickos show. Joe Tanzi, Mark Henry Jr., and Ryan Beef Coyle. They'll take over from 5 to 6 p.m. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. How about them Eagles? 1-0. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick